Welcome to the Verdin Verdict Sports Show. I'm your host, Jacob Verdin. Sorry about the late start. We tried to get our guy G Sports on. Had something to do. Something popped up, so we weren't able to get it. But we're still live talking about a couple of things. We got the Super Bowl. We got the NFL honors to recap. And honestly, NFL LSU's taking over. LSU's talent across the board is getting absurd. It's a cheat code out there. We'll talk a little bit about signing day, and then obviously there's some other updates here. Let's start this off, though, with the camp. Jamar Chase, Malik Neighbors yesterday. We popped out New Orleans at Tag Gormley, watched the 7-on-7 put on by Octane Sports. Shout out to Octane for all the accessibility and just, the camaraderie and putting us in that environment. Got to meet Lawrence Taylor. It was pretty cool. Jamar Chase showed up, Malik Neighbors. And what a full circle moment for Malik. One of the first things I thought of was just the fact that he really made his name known in Louisiana on that 7-on-7 scene, especially for the bootleggers. I mean, he wasn't exactly the highest touted recruit. And if you cycle it all the way back to an interview we did with Sage Ryan this offseason, he gave him his props, saying he didn't have the stars, the offers, all this notoriety. I mean, he was able to kind of bet on himself and put himself in a situation where now he's the guy. He's the top guy. So it was pretty cool to experience that, get the community involved. We got some content coming. We might do a little recap here on YouTube. We got a lot of short stuff on Instagram, some photos coming out. So go ahead and follow us at Verdin Verdict on socials. Links in the description for you to be able to find that. Let's switch to this update. Obviously, the Greg Brooks situation, it's piling on. You got the lawyer making another statement, and pretty much they're just kind of going back and forth in a sense where one side saying, the other and telling the truth, and then vice versa. So I think really my consensus on this is like, I just hope, Greg gets the help that he needs, right? I hope that he's going to be in a situation where he could eventually get back to being, healthy or just, happy, whatever the case may be. I like the fact that, he talked about wanting to put his story out there so other people can learn, that aspect of it, I feel is very wholesome. And I hope he's able to get some closure from this. But, all the back and forth in the media is rough because it's just one of those things where it's like now a lot of people are making their own assumptions. A lot of people are making their own opinions based off of these facts that they're gathering off of statements. And it's just like at the end of the day, I'm gonna let this play out in the court because you really don't know who's right, who's saying what. It's one of those situations you're kind of just going to back out of. With the recruiting side of things, National Signing Day, not much really changed since we talked. I mean, I think the top 5 is about the same. Alabama popped into that top 3. This is the SEC rankings, by the way. This is not the national rankings. This is your rankings in the conference. And a lot of people are going to hit the panic button when they see something like this. And this is going to flash us back to the conversation that we had talking about Brian Kelly and this recruiting effort and how they're going to have to really start slapping in some big name guys. Most of your big names, most of your big pieces have come out of the portal. You really haven't signed anybody that's turned heads to the point where all these rankings are kind of ignored. I think there definitely is going to have to be some things changed in the process, but I don't think it's the end of the world because like we had said on Wednesday, most of this is because of a focus on the transfer portal and then the NIL world. And I mean, there's a bunch of changes. This really could have been Kelly's best recruiting class, and the third one would have probably been number 1 or at least top 3 in the nation. Then obviously all the decommits settle in, and now you get brought back to reality. And I just think that not having the best recruiting class isn't always going to be the worst case scenario. I mean, sometimes it's obviously better to bring in a lot of guys and cover a lot of bases and fill a lot of holes. But at the end of the day, LSU was in a spot where I think they had a lot of their starters and a lot of their guys already known. The returning production is at the point where I think we're really the most experienced we've been under Brian Kelly. And I'm not saying that they didn't need any recruits or that they didn't need or any of that. I'm just saying that in that it seems like they're focused on reloading and turning LSU into a playoff conversation. Hopefully it works. But you never really know. It's going to be one of those things you look back in hindsight, it's going to be 2020, right? I mean, a variety of transfer portal classes have been successful. I feel like Texas and Oregon are good examples. And you've got examples like this. And then you've got recruiting examples like Texas A&M being the top ranked class or rated class or what have you. It's not always what it's cracked up to be. So you could get lost in the sauce in these rankings here, but I wanted to pop them, just let everybody see where LSU is in comparison to every other SEC house, if you will. Switch gears. Got to talk Manning real quick. ENAM, Passing Academy, guys in Thibodeau every year. We're always covering that event. And it's been interesting to kind of just watch the fallout from the moment. The Hall of Fame votes didn't put Eli Manning in at the first ballot. And I'm not really sure how this works in the sense where is he going to be able to be a first ballot next year if he's voted in? Does he get a chance to get voted in every year? You would think. But it's such an interesting situation because Ari Murov, the NFL reporter, says the final numbers weren't even close. His report was saying that Eli Manning was 100% snubbed, 100% ignored. Let me run down some stats to kind of give Eli a little bit of credit where credit is due because I feel like he's not getting his flowers enough. I feel like a lot of people are saying he's mid, he's not really understanding the severity of the career impact that he had. Understand he never missed a game, 10 consecutive starts. That's third all time on quarterbacks. The fact that he never sat out, never got injured, never had to put a back up, and that's one of those stats that I feel like sticks with you and really probably won't get repeated. This, day and age of football, when you got like Aaron Donald, Crosby run around tagging quarterbacks, have fun. I don't think they're going to be able to keep things like that in check. I mentioned the 2 Super Bowls, both Super Bowls beating Brady. The first year he beat Brady, and the Patriots were 18-0. It could have been the second NFL team to go undefeated and win a Super Bowl, but because Eli Manning and helmet catch and all the heroics that was put in place, they weren't able to get it done. The Giants stood in the way of Brady getting what would be damn near 9 rings at this point. It's insane to think about. Top 10 in passing touchdowns for Eli Manning, top 10 in passing attempts, top 10 in passing completions, 11th in yards, tied for third most Super Bowl MVPs. And I got to bring into it. And I'm not trying to compare it, and I'm not trying to sit and disrespect anybody, but all I'm going to say is John Elway, 2 Super Bowl rings with the Broncos, really good quarterback, right? He's in the Hall of Fame. He has 6 less passing touchdowns than Eli Manning. And that's not the stat end-all be-all for him, but all I'm saying is people are thinking that Eli Manning was an average quarterback who wasn't getting things done. And in reality, in my opinion, I think he was, quite frankly, one of the most consistent guys, maybe even one of the most underrated guys. I would have put him in the Hall of Fame. That's just me, though. A lot of people on Twitter going around and around and around and around about it. But I don't know. We got Bo Knows in the chat saying the New England team was nuts, especially with Randy Moss being at wide receiver. Who the hell thought Randy Moss would not get a Super Bowl ring, especially in New England? It's one of those things where I feel like Eli Manning's going to just have to wait his turn, and hopefully next year, he gets his opportunity. But if I had to vote, if I had to say so, I know who my first ballot quarterback would have been. I'd have put Eli Manning on the damn ballot. I think that he deserves it. I think that there's not many people, especially in that franchise, that have done what he's done. So shout out number 10. Let's move on to the NFL honors. I know everybody's excited. I know everybody watched. Everybody tuned in. And quite frankly, no one was surprised at least the Offensive Rookie of the Year award. Jaden Daniels won that damn near 5-6 weeks ago. I mean, the performances he's been putting on have been insane. I mean, it's novel at this point. You've never seen anything like this. Every time Daniels on the field, there's something new. There's something he's going to pull out of his bag that he's never pulled before. The playoff run, I think, was really what was the cherry on top and what honestly probably prepared to a whole nother award conversation, the MVP award, because he go on the road and be Tampa Bay and the first playoff ones for Washington. God knows how long. Everybody don't notice. Everybody knows, okay, Jaden Daniels is a baller. But then you go and play the best team potentially in the NFL, for sure the NFC. And I'm not saying you go play them at a neutral site or at home, bro. You go play them on the road and perform like that. I feel like now, damn near every year, Jaden Daniels is going to have his name in the hat for the MVP. This is one of those teams where you got to pay attention because at this point, last year, the Washington Commanders were making a decision on who they thought was the best fit for their second pick. They didn't even know if it was Jaden. They had to wait for the pro day to decide. Nah, I'm not scoffing. I'm just saying they didn't even know if it would be Drake May or Jaden. They weren't loading up. They weren't ready. They didn't think they were in a playoff situation. Fast forward a year later, now you got to recalibrate your expectations. Now your process, you thought you were going to be rebuilding and entering another draft year where you have a high pick. Nah, bro. You one of the best teams in the NFC. Now you need some contenders. Now you need to go get him a nice wideout. Go get Myles Garrett. Go get somebody huge, and you could really compete with every single team in the NFL. And I do not say that lightly. I really think that Jaden Daniels and the Commanders can do some damage I ain't gonna lie. Let's flash it back to preseason when they were talking about putting Brandon Ayuk on that team with him. Can you imagine what would have happened? The fireworks that you would have saw with that? Brandon Ayuk, Terry McLaurin, Zach Ertz, the double backfield they got with Eckler and Robinson, and Jaden's breaking off for 60 damn near every game. I mean, bro, don't even try it. Cliff Kingsbury, he gonna be having a damn field day if they get somebody like that over there. I think it's close though. And like I said, the expectations all recalibrated. Now you're in a different spot, Washington. Now you're in a spot where you really could poke your chest out and beat it. Let's talk MVP. I kind of brought it up and said how Jaden had his name in the hat. There was really, I'd say, two guys that had the best chance. It was Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. If you ask me, I would have thought Lamar Jackson got it, right? That Josh Allen didn't deserve it. There was an interesting debate online about this situation. And the first thing that I thought was, can't wait to watch Ryan Clark's reaction to it because of the storyline and all the narratives that were going around that. I think that's going to be an interesting reaction. And two, I think Lamar Jackson, I mean, yeah, I'm sure he won the MVP, but I feel like the biggest disappointment I had was the team crumbled. You know what I'm saying? I feel, I'm not gonna say I feel bad, but it's one of those situations where you can't really give it to the quarterback that lost to the other. So it kind of makes sense a little bit to me, but you know, the MVP award's always kind of all over the place. Then for Joe Burrow, I mean, the comeback player of the year, yeah, it's exciting. It's something you could celebrate. LSU again, take home an NFL honor. But like he said on this, it's really not an award nominated for 2 years in a row. It's not saying that win it, and it's not saying that it's not impressive, and I'm sure he's grateful for having it, but it's just a fact that comeback player of the year normally has to have a pretty shitty end of the season or something that was adversity filled to make him eligible for that award. And having 2 years of it, I think, is pretty. I'm sure he'd be wanting to get hardware, offensive player of the year, MVP. I don't know if it's Lombardi. It was interesting to watch his demeanor on that, and then obviously, if you watched the award show, or at least seen the clips afterwards, you saw Jay Jetta's fumble the teleprompter, and that was interesting. I just said teleprompter playing lockdown defense on Jettas. That was pretty funny. And they had the moment with Dog Malik when he pretending to be like AJ reading the damn book on the sideline of the book saying "Pass me." I thought that was pretty funny as well. And of course, it was kind of an LSU show. Lie, you had all the people. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Jay Daniels, Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas in the building. Shout out to Boot. It's not often that you're going to get the NFL honors in New Orleans. It's especially not often that you're going to get some LSU guys to put them on the map. Put the brand on the map, boys. All right, let's talk Super Bowl. I'm about to wrap this up with the best pick that y'all have ever heard in your life. This pick is going to be cash. This pick, you got nothing to worry about. It don't matter what happened during the college football playoffs in terms of our pick. The Super Bowl pick is 100% trustworthy. Take my word for it. No, I'm joking. There's a couple of things that are outliers for me. First things first, Eagle lineman Landon Dickerson. Yeah, he's going to play. He had the whole soundbite. You're going to have to take me off for me not to play in the Super Bowl. I wouldn't want to sit up, but you're still injured, bro. Like, I get it. You can play, and you could probably be the backup. The fact of the matter is you're not 100%. This offensive line is not 100%. Saquon Barkley is a phenomenal player. Offensive player of the year, probably an MVP candidate. Guess what? Saquon Barkley can't work for himself. Saquon can just run through the hole that are given him. If his offensive line is banged up and gets pushed around by a Chiefs defense who's number one in tackling per PFF, it's going to be a long night. You're not going to run after getting 10 times in the first quarter and then Jalen Hurts, who potentially also could be banged up still after, I don't know, 3 weeks ago, limping around versus the Rams selling that game. If they put too much pressure on this offensive line, I feel like that run game gets crushed. You have to pass, and now you're in an instance where the defense knows what to expect. They just go sit back, wait, and potentially pluck one or two. It's going to obviously down to who makes the least mistakes, and I think it's going to be tough to feel as if the Eagles make the least mistakes with all these kind of, downsides or disadvantages that they have. The injury suck. It really does. They got talent. I get it. And then the biggest downside of them all is the experience. I mean, yeah, you lost the Super Bowl, so you got experience in playing the Chiefs and in being in this moment. But all in all, who you think is more experienced? Who you think has the bigger, resume to flex and be able to kind of just let their past success boost their confidence. I feel like Patrick Mahomes is going to be cool as a cucumber out there in New Orleans. And I'm not saying Jalen Hurts won't. I'm just saying they're both in different situations. Jalen Hurts has not had one yet. He's been at this moment and he's lost. And I'm sure that's going to be in the back of his head, making a little more pressure to be able to actually win the Super Bowl. Like, you're here again, don't lose for the second time. It's going to be in his head the whole time. While Patrick Mahomes is going to be thinking more than likely, you've been here, the last 2 years you've been here and you won both of them, bro. Ain't nothing but a thing. Just go through business as usual. This is what we expect now. I feel like that mindset's going to play into the Chiefs' favor a little bit. I could be wrong. I don't know. I think it'll be a close game. I think it's shootout material. It's the Super Bowl. I mean, I hope it ain't a damn 50 ball like the national championships morally turn out to. I'm leaning on the healthy, experienced Chiefs for the first Super Bowl three-peat. They're what, minus 120, close money line. You know that DraftKings is going to tease you with a booster on Super Bowl Sunday morning. Throw the boost on that, make it plus 100, have a day. You pretend the Chiefs are underdog. Boom, slam your check on it. I feel like the only way this goes wrong is if that Eagles defense comes out and makes Patrick Mahomes run all around like the Bucs did back into that Super Bowl way long ago in Tampa Bay when Tom Brady won numero 7. When Patrick Mahomes had to be like damn near parallel to the ground, throwing sideways, it ain't going to work out. That's not comfortable. That's not Chiefs excellence football. That's the only thing I think that could prevent a Chiefs three-peat is an immense amount of Eagles pressure. And look, they could do it. All right? They got the talent. They got the guys, they got the schemes. It's just all going to be about how they respond in the moment. I'm not going to lie. It's going to be an interesting game because the Eagles they kind of streaky, such a streaky team, and the Chiefs are really consistent. I mean, the Chiefs could have their day and lose, and potentially, it just be the end of the run. And then you see Travis Kelce retire, and you start to slowly see this dynasty dwindle. But at the end of the day, I mean, I don't know. I remember watching that Eagles-Rams game and just wondering if Matthew Stafford was going to make a comeback and send the Eagles back to Philly. There was a moment where I didn't think the Eagles would even have a chance to make it to the NFC Championship game, nonetheless a Super Bowl, and now we're sitting here wondering if they're going to win it. I don't know. I'm leaning on the Chiefs. I think that's your safest pick. I think everybody really loves it. Let's check what the public is bet. Let's go to Bleacher Report and see if they got some information for us on who's taking what. I feel like the public wants the Eagles to win, but I mean, I don't know if you're going to let your heart get in the way of that. I think that's one of the most controversial things you could do when you're betting is let your heart get in the way. The public is riding Chiefs money line 55%, but the spread, ladies and gentlemen, 66% on Philly. Interesting. Totals at 48.5. It's not a bad total. I don't know. I'll tell you what I think. Chiefs money line boosted, get it to plus. Have a day. Safest pick. I mean, if you want to gamble, you really want to go in and you want to go ham and you want to do the over and maybe a plus spread, have at it. I ain't sweating it through. I think I know. Had the three-peats on the way. They just did a deal with Pat Riley to get the trademark for merch with the NFL and the three-peat logo and all this crap. They jumping through hurdles, baby. They know what's coming. It's preparation, but hey, I never felt so sure about a pick before. Lock it in. Chiefs money line, Verdin verdict. It's stamped. Hopefully we win y'all some bread the Super Bowl Sunday. Appreciate everybody for tuning in once again live Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 9. On Fridays, sometimes we wait for G. Sometimes we go live at 12:30. We tried today. Didn't work. Maybe next Friday. Appreciate everybody. Hit that thumbs up on the way out. Hit the subscribe button. LSU spring practice coming soon. We got about 2 weeks left before that spring ball hits. We're going to be at the practices. We got 15 we'll be at. Spring games on April 12th. All these practices start the first week of March. 3 weeks left. Get all your questions in. Anything you want me to cover, anything you want me to see, scout out, report, whatever. Drop it in the comment section, and we will get to it. Y'all have a good one.